I think that, Oprah is Oprah.
Is
So
Oprah.
I'm just like in college and I'm walking across like this thing in the cafeteria and I see him on the screen with Oprah and I'm like, you guys, that's my dad. He is famous. They're like, this idiot. You didn't know he was famous this whole time. No, I really didn't.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Do I Know You Day. It's me, your host, your friend, your confidant, Jordy Ray, and I am thrilled that you're here. How weird is it that y'all keep finding yourselves here? I keep finding myself here. It's a really toxic relationship we have. We keep coming back. But in this case, toxicity works, period. Y'all, I'm so excited for this interview today. I honestly just want to get right into it. So we are interviewing a good friend of mine named Evette Holyfield. She is that girl. I actually was introduced to her by my other girl, Gia Cook, who, if y'all have not watched her interview yet, what are we doing? She was literally the OG, so go back. But Evette is amazing. She's like my big sister at this point. Like, I feel like she's helped me through so much, which we'll talk about. But her dad, I know you already know, her last name Holyfield, is Evander Holyfield. Literally like a household name. I feel like I'm not even into sports and like I knew his name. Like boxing champion. He's actually the undisputed heavyweight champion, like in the world. Like that's insane. How many of us are like involved in something where it's like we're an undisputed champion? Feels pretty rare to me, but yeah, y'all, you know him. Really, really incredible man of God, incredible boxer, obviously, and just created a beautiful daughter named Evette, who we're really going to be spending our time on today. Yeah, she's just such a beautiful soul and like truly a trusted big sister that I can go to and do go to for anything and everything. So I can't wait for y'all to meet her. I'm so grateful that she's coming on this week. So without further ado, please welcome my good friend Evette Holyfield. Today, y'all, we're with my good sis. I feel like Evette, how would I describe you? So we'll talk about this, but the way I met Evette was through our good sis Gia, first guest, period. We love you, G. You're watching this. And yeah, Evette, I feel like I've known you for 10 years.
I
will
know.
literally call Evette. We'll talk about things like trauma from my past and like all this stuff. She's like, okay, so this is what you're gonna do. I'm gonna send you this video you need to watch. Then you need to write this down. Then you need to pray about it. And then you're gonna call me and let me know how it goes.
Yes.
I'm like, period. So I'm so happy to have you on today.
Yes,
Welcome.
thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Okay, so Evette's dad, y'all know and love, I'm sure, Evander Holyfield, but y'all, there's millions of interviews of him. Today, we want to know the star that is Evette. Can we just take a second, though, for our matching outfits?
I know. I'm really excited about it right now.
Was this
Can't go wrong with pink, girl. Can't go wrong with pink.
Nothing wrong with pink. I texted Yvette this morning. I was like, hey, girl, what are you going to wear? She's like, just like this casual sweater. Then she comes on in this. I'm like, this is cashmere. This is nothing. This is not casual at all.
It is casual, girl. You better be glad I just didn't put my pearls on,
You hop on Zoom.
Well, I'm an old white woman at heart.
The Golden Girls.
Facts. I really go to sleep at 9:00.
You really do. I remember when you told me that, I was like, is she serious? But you really do be texting me. If I text you at like 10:30, you'll respond at like 6 a.m. I'm like, oh, she's up.
Oh yeah. Girl, I wake up at between 4:30 and 5:30. And then I go to bed at like, if I can make it to 8:00 or 9, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. That is so sad. That is so sad. But I'm way older than you, so wait until you get my age and then you'll understand.
It's the realization of you saying it out loud where you're like, oh.
Right. It's okay. As long as I don't think there's anything wrong with getting old. It's just like, how do you carry yourself? How you feel about yourself. I mean, inwardly, I feel like I'm 22, but my kneecaps might not agree.
I feel like
my sleeping patterns.
Well, when I talk to you, I definitely don't I feel like you're like an older sister, but I'm not like, oh, she's old. Like you're not old.
Yeah. Well, I have it's 11 of us. So I have like younger sisters. So I feel like they keep me young and they try to like teach me stuff like the word "per." I was like, I don't get it. They were like, yeah, like,
Hey, use per in a sentence.
I can't. I tried over text messages, over a group text with my family. They were like, please stop. Please stop. I was like, oh, this is how you know you really are getting old, though. I was like, I tried, y'all. I tried.
So weak. No, I'm gonna start hitting you with per over text. You're just gonna like
Okay.
thumbs up.
Then maybe I'll learn how to use it then, but I just can't get it. I just don't get it right. You're gonna be like, okay, you're just gonna have to pause on that one.
Well, do you use period? Because per is just a substitute for period.
Oh, okay. Um, no, I'll say stuff like that part in facts, like, but I won't really be like, period. Like no.
I feel like
I don't think I'm cool. I really don't think I'm cool like that. So I just don't think I can use those types of things. I just think everybody looks at me like, okay, grandma,
I'm so not
sit down.
I literally am gonna start hitting you with per, and we're gonna bring Evette back, y'all, for like a part 2 in like next year or something, and then we're just gonna see if she's like, okay, per, and then we're gonna be like, see, throwback to last year. Oh my gosh, Evette, I'm so happy you're here. I have so many questions for you. I first just want to start off with like, just like the fact that like your name. First of all, I love your name, Evette, but also your last name is like a household name, which is crazy because of your dad, but like you carry that last name. Do you feel like, in what ways has that played a role in your identity? Just growing up with like a last name that is, your normalcy, but like fame to so many people.
Um, it played a huge role. I mean, people automatically think that, because my last name, like, I have to be good at sports, even though I was. Um, but given like, how to fight, which I've never been in a fight a day in my life other than with my brothers. You're stuck up, I feel like all the normal things like, that people go through in our positions.
Yep.
But I feel like what it really did was and I think we talked about this before, it really put me in a place of where I was okay with being second and not really putting myself first. And I think that as I gotten older and when I moved away from Atlanta and like kind of got into the fashion world and all those things where not so many people knew about sports, that I began to like really have my own identity and learning how to put myself first and not letting other people, I don't want to say outshine me because I don't think that can happen, but maybe moving forward into my light, if that makes sense.
Yes, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love how you said it. No one can outshine you. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on that.
I'm just saying, no, seriously. I just feel like, people will be like, upset with other people. Like they're like, oh, they took my spotlight, all this stuff. Well, no, you gave it to them.
Yes.
That's what you did. You gave it to them, and that's your fault, not theirs. They were doing what they know what is best for themselves. Right. So you got to do what's best for yourself, and you shouldn't dull your light for anybody. And I think that being in the situation, you're taught to do that, not by my dad, but by other people. Yeah. So
yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 11 of you total.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. You're like,
my dad loves the women, just kidding.
Well, obviously you have like a big family. Do you feel like, I don't know, I feel like there is a benefit to, so I only have 3 siblings.
Okay.
And with Dre being like the basketball name, whatever, like I have my 2 sisters where we can like, oh my gosh, did this happen to you? This is crazy, like all this stuff. But I can't even imagine if I had 10 other people to like share those emotions with. Do you feel like you were able to like all really lean on each other when it came to just the monstrosity that is fame?
I think that's a good question. So two of my brothers, one is a boxer and then the other one is a football player. So I feel like for them, that is the pressure, but at the end of the day, you have to prove yourself and they prove themselves. So it's like they don't really, I don't
Right.
feel like they really like hold on to it like the others do.
Right.
And I think that yes, we've leaned on each other, but I think we lean on it in as making fun of it, like with other people, like you know what people say and what people do, or like my sister, she's really funny. Like she really will like just be like, no. Like I remember she was telling a story about a fight my dad had that went horribly wrong, and the person was like, "How is your father?" And she was like, "How is yours?" And the guy was like, he was like, "My father's dead," and she was like, "I'm sorry to hear that, but
Don't ask me about
okay." Right. She was like, okay. And I was just like, you did not say that. She was like, I totally did. Like, I'm tired of people
this
feeling
was
like
fed
they
up.
can like invade your space. Like they feel like they can ask you anything. And it's just like, and it's so true. Like people have asked me, like, you know, how did it feel when your dad's ear got bit? Can I bite your ear? And so you can maybe possibly understand. I don't know. What do you think? That's the dumbest question I've ever heard in my life.
That is
His
the
ear got bit off. Like teeth grinded his ear. Like you don't think that that's gonna, you thought that he was jumping up and down because he was happy and he was
right.
turned on by it, because he was not.
What, like, my question is, what do they expect you to say? Be like, like, didn't
That's a
really
good
impact me much,
question. I could ask him.
Like, oh, actually, I'm so glad you asked. Let me call him. Hey, Dad, this guy wants to know, like,
Like,
ugh,
how did it feel when your ear got bit off? They want to
felt
know.
great. It felt amazing. And that's my problem is people lack awareness. And
They
like,
do.
I didn't realize that because shout out to my parents. Like, I feel like in my whole family, I feel like I was raised with like a deep sense of like social awareness, what's going on around me, like, and just like
Mm-hmm.
self-awareness, how I take up a room, when I should contribute, when I shouldn't. And I just thought it was something natural. Oh, no, 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 no. It is a
Yeah.
gift truly from
Yeah.
God because so many people lack it.
Oh, absolutely. Like 1,000%. Like yeah, all I can say is I just never in my life. But
Wow.
I think that going through that, I do think that at some point it helps you to learn how to set boundaries if you start to look at it in a positive way, because then you're like, okay, you know what? I'm not comfortable with you asking me that question.
Mm,
So can we move on to
yeah.
something else? Do you have anything else you want to say to me? Do you want
Yeah.
to say something about myself? Like,
Yeah. Right. I'm
if not, then I'm going to move on to the next
right.
person, like,
A
but
thousand.
I definitely think that it does help for you to be able to set boundaries for sure.
A thousand.
Um, but I definitely have encountered a lot of interesting things.
I'm sure. I literally can't. I know what I go through, and then I just can't imagine for your scope. Well, I watched something. You didn't know I watched. I did some research on you.
Oh Lord Jesus. I'm
I
scared.
just ask her,
You
but I'm
are.
kind of just internet
I'm
stalker.
like, what did you watch?
Okay, so I watched an interview, or I don't know if you were interviewing your dad or maybe you were just talking to the camera telling stories. I'm not really sure which one it was, but I remember you had said that you didn't even realize that your like dad was famous until you got to college. Like
Oh my
until
God, yeah.
he was interviewed on Oprah
Girl.
and you were like,
No,
"Oh, I
seriously.
love
Okay,
Oprah."
so let me explain. Let me say this. Okay, I knew that he was famous, but it's different when you're like going to church and people are coming up and talking to you and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and I mean, when we went to Six Flags and stuff, people would come up and like, we would have security. But I think that, Oprah is Oprah.
Is
So
Oprah.
I'm just like in college and I'm walking across like this thing in the cafeteria and I see him on the screen with Oprah and I'm like, you guys, that's my dad. He is famous. They're like, this idiot. You didn't know he was famous this whole time. No, I really didn't. I just thought it was just like, like they admire him and stuff, but like, no, he is on Oprah. We have made it. I need to be in People magazine.
Okay.
I need to be on Vogue.
No,
Girl,
it's
my
Oprah's
career is
seal of
about to
approval.
Right. Like my career, like I'm like, my career is about to start.
Because that's what matters, period. It's about you. It's literally
Right.
always been about you. That is
Yeah.
so funny. There is nothing more jarring than being in a public space and seeing, like for me, it's like my brother or like your dad. I'm just like, oh, like this is a lot right
Yeah.
now. I feel like
Right.
overstimulated.
That. Ooh.
Especially when I'm like, I see you on here getting interviewed. I still ain't got a text back, but that's neither here nor there. That's neither here
Hard.
nor there.
Girl, if my dad did not text me back, we would have a whole problem. I would blow his phone up, be like, answer my phone call, sir. I see you. I am looking at you
Oh
right now.
my gosh, it's
I'm crazy.
horrible. I'm like, my family's notorious for not answering calls. And yes, I do it too. But one thing about me is I'm me, mini Oprah, period. So I'm like, I got business to take care of. But then I'm like, y'all, come on.
You're not that busy.
You're not that busy. Like I see you on the screen. Yeah, I'm about to call. And I watch you pick up your phone, look at it, look down. Yeah, I see you ignoring my call in live time.
Girl.
I'm on your head right now.
Girl, let me tell you, my dad will pick my phone calls up. He really will. He will be on the screen. I'm in an interview right now, or I'm doing such and such right now. Okay, love you, mean it. Bye.
just wanted you to know.
I just wanted you to know that I'm important too. Thank you.
Shout out to you guys for that, truly. Okay, so there's a lot I want to get into identity-wise because you have just so much that I know of, so I know there's so much more that just like makes up the beautiful Evette that you are. So my first question is fashion. How did, because I know you were good at sports, which we should also talk about, but like, how did fashion even get introduced to you? How did you, like, what was it about fashion that appealed to you?
I don't know. I think I got into fashion because, okay, so I love the Disney characters and I love their dresses. And like, I love Marie Antoinette, like the way that she dressed and like that whole, time period. So I originally started designing wedding dresses.
No
And
way.
and then when I was little, and my aunt, she passed away, but she used to tell us like these like dramatic stories of, like about Rapunzel. Like she would make up her own thing. Like she could tell me the Rapunzel story every night, and it would be different each one. She was amazing. So I think that like just having that imagination, and then translating that into wedding dresses, and then just growing up and looking at style and kind of coming up with different things like that, really, I feel like that's how it really started. And I think that because my dad was just kind of like, no, you need to run track, it kind of like pushed me towards fashion even more. And then, I went to college and went to Auburn, and then I went to SCAD, transferred, and then really got to get into fashion. And it was like the best thing that like ever happened to me.
Really?
Like, yeah, because I think that like, growing up in the space that we have grown up in, I think you need an outlet, and working out and track and all that stuff wasn't mine. It was the fashion. And I think that the fact that I got to express myself and to release the emotions, because when I designed something, I had a full story that went with it. And so it just like, I don't know, it helped me to get, I don't know, my heartbreak or pain and all these different things out. Like, I mean, I came up with some really interesting stories. So my family would be like, what is going on with you?
In your head, what's going on up there?
Right. Did we need to send you to somebody? Probably. That's neither here nor there.
I'm so weak. Wait, that's so beautiful.
I mean, we all need therapy. Let's just be real. We all need it.
Signed up last week. Got a therapy appointment Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, we all need we all need it. I no, seriously, like when I started going to therapy, it definitely keeps you accountable of your feelings. It keeps you accountable of thinking, I guess, more deep, or I don't know what the word is for it right now, but it just keeps you accountable, and it helps you to process out why you do the things that you do, and really getting to the root of it if you have a good therapist. You know what though? I'm really my own therapist. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then I tell them what is wrong with me, and then they're just like, okay, why are you here? I need you to help me to process this. I need a plan on how to fix it. Yeah, like I need a plan on how to fix it. Now, can you help me fix this? Because if not, you're the wrong person for me.
Okay.
But no, but for real, like I just told my brother the other day, I was like, you need a therapist, and they really can help you. And everybody is different. I just think so much.
Yeah.
And I want to be better and I want to be healthy.
Yeah.
So
1,000%.
I
feel
think
like
about it a lot.
you have a true gift of like, I don't know if you it just feels like you process things in real time really well. And like what I mean by that is like if I'll tell you something that like I'm going through or like something that I just like need your advice on or something, like you just process it really well. And like I don't know, like for me, if someone tells me something, sometimes I'm like, okay, I need to think about this and like I'll come back to you. But you're just like, okay, like period. And it's such a genuine response. And this brings me to my next question. Like, you are so good at like mentoring women. And I know this is something that like you're really passionate about. Like Gia, I know, is like your baby, and then like
Yes,
I am like making you adopt me.
yes,
like,
absolutely.
yes, which I've already told you, you already know this.
That is fine.
do,
That is fine. I will adopt you happily.
do you feel like this gift of yours kind of grew in you because of like your younger siblings and like just the position you grew up in?
Yeah, I think that like, honestly seeing my dad, he has mentored a lot of, young people, and I think naturally I am a giver and I want to help and I want to help you fix your problem. So, I do take from my own experiences, but I also feel like I have a gift of um understanding even if I haven't been through it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, literally like this, I feel like the solutions just pop up in my mind. It can be God, like probably is,
It probably
but
is.
I
Yeah.
just, yeah, like, so I think that it's more so that. And I think though that a lot of things that, you've gone through, Gia's gone through, and a lot of my friends have gone through, I've gone through those things too, but I really take the time to process it and to figure out what is what is healthy, even when I don't want to, do the healthiest thing, but what is the healthiest way of how I can get through it, and what's gonna like how is this gonna affect me in the future?
Yeah.
Because yes, I want to pop off, and yes, I want to like go the opposite way, but is that gonna really help me? No. But I have like, yeah, but someone like I have a brother who's very like, I'm gonna do whatever I want and then ask questions later. No, I'm gonna think about it and then like I'm gonna take down, I'm gonna think of every single step.
Right.
So I think that, mentoring younger girls, I've been through a lot, and so it's just easier to kind of, give that good advice. Or, I don't know if all of it's great, but I think so.
No, I think it's great. I think there's something to be said about someone that will like hold you accountable. Like it's
Yeah.
great to have friends that pour into you, but I think sometimes the danger lies in the fact that like you find yourself surrounded by like yes men or yes women. And like
Yeah.
we all know those people that are surrounded by yes men and they are literally driving themselves into destruction because
Absolutely.
call them out. And I just feel like I never want to get to a place where like that's my like path. Like I need someone to be like, hold on, that's not what you said. And like that's where therapy comes in, but like also good friendships.
Right. Yeah, no, my friends are like that. My best friend Leslie, we have literally like have broken up. I said we've broken up. We literally have broken up several times because either I said something that she doesn't like or and it's truthful and vice versa. So we definitely keep each other. She would be like, oh no, now you know you're wrong. I'd be like, no, I'm not. Like, and she'd be like, no, Evette, you're wrong. Like, stop playing games. Like, you're wrong. And I'm not going to agree with you. You are wrong. And I'm like, okay, tell me why I'm wrong. Like, why?
You like go like guard up.
I'd be like, I disagree. And she'll be like, you can look at me like that all you want, because I will definitely stare into your soul. And she was like, you can look at me like that all you want. My answer still hasn't changed. You're wrong.
What a good friend.
Oh, yeah, I love her. She's literally, I've known her for I think I've known her for like 20 years.
Oh my, okay.
Yeah.
So it's been built. Like trust has been built. You know she's not out to get you. She knows you're not out to get her. And that's
absolutely. 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 Yeah. And she literally just does, like, she doesn't care about my dad. Like, when you meet, you have those friends, and you're like meeting a group of their friends, and they're like, oh, so how's your brother? And you just be like, how'd you know who my brother was? So that's how it is for me too. It's just kind of like,
Yep.
okay, Leslie never does that. Never.
So important. I feel like okay. So going into college, I felt like I didn't really know how to approach the like famous brother thing. I was like, is this
Mhm.
something that like, first of all, I'm not going to hide it. I'm proud of all my siblings. If they do something cool, I'm gonna post it, period.
Right.
But in high school, I remember someone told me like, they were like, well, you talk about your brother a lot. Sorry, they're winning championships every year. Like, you want me to be quiet? If you're proud of your brother for winning his little spelling bee, I can't be proud of my brother for winning a championship. Next.
Right.
And I remember it like formed like deep insecurities in me, like, oh my gosh, like, should I not be proud of my family publicly? Like, when it's, so going into college, I was very hesitant with like who I told, things like that. And I remember
Mhm.
stuff like that would happen where like a mutual friend of like a mutual friend would come up to me, hey, nice to meet you. I like really love the Warriors. Like, what do you know about the Warriors? Girl, who told? And it would just create this like your stomach like drops. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like this
Yeah.
gut feeling, where it's just
Yeah.
like you don't feel safe.
You don't. Like, you don't feel safe. But then on the other hand, I don't think that people understand that. And it took me a while to get to this space, but it's like you get when somebody does that, it's like, okay, what angle do I have to play now?
Mm,
Do I have to play the angle of, okay, like just leave me alone, I don't care? Or do I have to play into, yeah, like, yeah, it's amazing, he's amazing, this happened, all this stuff. And then like you're pitting on all, like, you don't know who you have to be,
exactly.
until you get into that place to where you feel really comfortable with who you are.
Yeah.
And now if people do it, I'll just be like, oh, okay, like that's great. I'm glad you're a fan. Thanks. And then,
Yeah.
I'll move on. I'll change the subject, to let them know, like, I really don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
But, I think as a younger person, you definitely go through a lot of different emotions because I definitely had about 3 or 4 different sides of myself that I had to like really figure out which one I was going to play, whatever room I was in. And also depending on the person, because like, if it's your boyfriend that does it, it's just kind of like, okay, this is not okay,
Yeah.
but okay, I'm going to act like it's okay. And
Exactly.
then, I'm going to play this part. And now I have to think, okay, are you dating me because of who
Mm,
my family member is? Is this helping you in, like giving you clout in any type of
yeah.
way? So it's definitely, and on top of that, I've definitely been in situations where I have a 1,000% let people use that.
Wow.
And but just because I wanted that person to like me,
Mm, that's
you
real.
know?
That's deep.
And I've never admitted that before. So
Wow. Not the exclusive.
yeah, I never admitted, but I definitely have gone through those things. But I feel like
Mm.
I've seen my other brothers and sisters go through that as well.
Yeah. I mean, what you just admitted is very powerful and it's true. I have done that too. And I remember in high school, I went to a very white high school. I felt very isolated. Like, I had great friends, don't get me wrong. But I mean, there
Mm-hmm.
were times where I just felt very unwanted, unloved from just, and if that's the thing that, like the lacrosse boys, the basketball boys are latching onto, I'm like, hey, I don't really like, if you feel like you need some attention, yeah, sure, take it, take it. And it's like,
Right.
but I think I like can overshare, as you know now.
Oh, sorry.
And it's sick. And I feel like the worst feeling to me still to this day is like when you let someone use it and you just feel like you're like, and you're alone in your room at the end of the night and you just feel like you betrayed yourself. Like you feel like
Absolutely. Oh my
you
God, a thousand
overshared.
percent.
Yes, you just overshared yourself to like a point of betrayal. And that's like,
Yeah.
those are words you can't take back. That's like a feeling you really have to wrestle with. And I think that's something that not a lot of people talk about.
Yeah. Because I think nobody wants to admit that you're being a part of the cause of hurting yourself
Mm,
and to creating these resentments
yeah.
and different things that that kind of I feel like that come along with growing up with a
Yeah.
famous parent or sibling.
Yeah.
It can take a toll
It absolutely
if
can.
you don't know yourself.
Yeah. And
And I
that's the
mean,
thing. You have to be
how
really
can
self.
you as a young how can you as a young person, how can you?
How am I supposed to do? I'm like, this is too much. But I feel like I really, how you talked about like fashion is like, was your thing. I feel like that was like theater for me. I was like, no one in my family is touching this. Like, I don't have
Yeah.
to pretend to like basketball or like sports. I was like, nobody in my family can sing a note. Like, I can't, period.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
Oh,
her.
hold on. First of all, you have not sang for me yet. Problem. You did not let me know you had that talent.
It's more of like, at this point, it's more of a shower talent. My younger sister's like the singer in the family, but no, this is like a shower talent. I lost the skill, which I actually was going to ask you, do you feel like you could still, like, you design wedding dresses? Could you like design your own dress?
Yeah, but I'm not about to. I'll stress myself out. Girl, on my wedding day, I'll be like, what did I do? I need to change this.
You said somebody's got to change. So,
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm not doing that. I can't design for myself. It's so weird because I'm so picky, but then also I'm just very simple and classic. But I could definitely like design something for somebody else for sure.
yo, okay. I was going to say,
Yeah.
is it like a skill that like you lose, but it doesn't sound like it is. Like you always will have that designer mindset.
So I don't know. I feel like I kind of gone away from it. I think that the creative aspect that I've kept is I write stories, like short stories.
See, you didn't tell me
So
this.
yeah, I know. I actually really don't tell anybody that up until now.
Wow.
But yeah, like so I'll do short stories. And then like if I do decide to get back into design, sorry, I'm like curling this like little feather thing out of my pillow. But like they probably like, what is in her hands? What in the
Don't worry
witchcraft is
about
going
it.
on?
Don't worry about it. This is between us.
But what was I saying?
Short stories.
Oh yeah, short stories. But oh yeah, so whenever I decide that I want to go back into design, I'll have those stories and then I can create from there. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
because you just pull from that.
Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah, kind of takes my mind away from stuff, you know?
yeah, for real. Got to. Gotta have an outlet. That's so true though. I
Yeah.
think this is a good like word of encouragement, I think, for people, whether you, because obviously this show is like beyond, like, yes, we're celebrating identity from the lens of siblings and children of celebrities, but it's kind of beyond that. Like, if your identity is in your job, you need an outlet that's not your job. If your identity is
Right.
in your relationship, you need an outlet that is not that, because otherwise you will drive yourself insane.
Absolutely. Oh, I've been there, done that. I'm
you
good.
said you said
I
never
am good.
again.
Never again. Ever.
I'm so
Ever, ever,
tired.
ever, guys. Ever. You can hold me to it. Just
Um,
sad.
okay, so I know another big part of your identity is your faith. And can you talk to me? I know we've talked about this separately, but just how that was like instilled in your family from like a very young age.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. My dad started teaching us about God, I think probably while we were in the womb, but from what I really know, probably like when I was 5. I
Wow.
think, yeah, yeah. He started talking. Well, okay, let's be clear. My dad started talking to us about not having sex until you got married when we were like 5. He was like, you do not want to be like me. Like, I want y'all to be better than me. This is not the way that you want to go. I love all of you guys, but this is just
Right.
not how you want it to be.
Right.
That like really stuck with me though, for real. But no, like my dad was really serious about just us knowing God.
Mm,
It let's see, how do I say this? I think it was up to me to actually form a relationship with God,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference. Because he would make us get up and do our prayers in the morning before we went to school. Like he had a prayer book that he made for us. Like he would update the prayers and like everything else. I would be like, when does the man have time to do this? Like this is
Hey, go
crazy,
practice.
girl. I was like, aren't you supposed to be in Houston practicing right now? Because like you're messing my flow,
Right.
my
You up
flow
here
up.
updating your prayer book. I'm
Oh
watching
my
you
God.
pre-gaming on the news.
Right. Like this is crazy. No, girl, let me tell you. The craziest story was that my dad gave us a spanking because we told him that we said our prayers and we did not. Oh yeah, he was like, nope, you do not lie and you don't lie about Jesus.
Oh my
And we never be lying
God.
after that again. Yeah, I mean,
You
I
brought
forgot
out
how
the
old we were.
belt.
Oh yes. He really did. He was like, y'all come back into here. And I'm like, what did we do? What did we do? And he was like, y'all didn't say your prayers. How do you know?
He said, God
You know
told me.
me.
He got it
How do
here.
you know? Did the Holy Spirit tell you? Because, okay, you're right.
Got me.
You got me, dude. You got me. No, I forgot who said it, but yeah. We definitely didn't say him, and we got to thank him. My dad was very, I mean, to this day, he literally sends us prayers at 4 a.m. I got one, I just got another one. This was the third one for today. Like,
It's so special though.
man.
I know your family group chat is going crazy with those prayers, okay?
Oh no, he sends them out individually because somebody told him that we didn't like the prayers being in the group chat. So he was like, okay, don't worry about it. I'll send it to you all individually. So he literally wakes up in the morning. He sends all of us prayers. He sends all of our mother's prayers. He sends his friends' prayers. Like, it's crazy.
That's so special though.
Spreading the word of God, you guys. You know,
He said evangelist.
Pastor Holyfield.
Yeah, maybe that's his next career. You never know.
Girl, that man would look. If anybody would let him stand up and talk about Jesus, oh, he is all for it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That's the one. That is one of the biggest things that I do love about my dad is that he is pretty consistent in his love for God. Like that's never wavered from all of the crazy stuff that has gone on, you know, in his life. Like I mean, he's been in some really not so great situations, and he never once like blamed God. Girl, over here, I go through one little thing, and I'm like,
Jesus.
I won't be praying today, just so you know. We won't
God's
be
like, all right, you'll be back. All right.
Right. We won't be talking for a few weeks. So I'm just letting you know, even though you already knew that.
That's really how I be though.
And then something happens, I'll be like, hello, Lord, are you there?
Oh my God.
It's me.
Come back. I didn't mean it. He's like, yeah, you did.
Right. No, I'll be like, I know I was wrong in what I said, but I did it. So can we move on from this though?
Woo, because swallowing that pride is the hardest part.
Well, you know what? I think that with God, it shouldn't be. Like, I mean,
be.
because he already knows.
1000%. 1000%.
Now, when it comes to other people, I get it, but not with God. I just be like, Lord, you know what? You already know me. So we're not going to even go there.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Like, let's move on. Okay, next blessing. Here we go.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Shout out to God. We love us some Jesus over here.
Yeah.
Actually, this is another question I had for you. This is so random, has nothing to do with anything, but something that is really hard for me. Well, okay, let me just say this. I don't really love sports. Like for me, I'm like, I think I'm really, I'm like, I'd, rather do some like talk show stuff. But I feel like for me, it's really hard for me to watch my brother's games for a bunch of reasons. One, by now I'm like year 10, 11, 12. I'm like, But also if I'm like at a game, I get so nervous that he's like going to get hurt or like that something's going to happen. And I'm like, I remember I told my friend that and they were like, oh, that's so weird. I feel like that's not normal.
Really?
Isn't that normal? Like you can't just sit
Absolutely.
up there and watch your dad, right?
Girl, let me tell you. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a short story.
Yes, we want to hear.
All right, so my brothers and I used to love WWE. So we watched like Goldberg, Nature Boy. This is like way before your time. I don't even know if you're born at this point. But there was this guy named Goldberg. And so he came to one of my dad's fights and we all became, I guess you can say friends or whatever. Yeah. I was a child, so no, he wasn't my friend, but he was my dad's friend. So I thought he was my friend. I was in love with him. So you're my friends, like whatever. He shared his popcorn with me.
Oh, that's friends. A friend.
He better be glad I didn't think that we were dating after that. You shared your popcorn.
You a kid.
Like this is a Christian relationship. We share popcorn.
Like, what's next? The ring? Oh my gosh.
Girl. So he was at one of my dad's fights and I met him at a fight and then, moving forward, he met him at another fight. Yeah. And at this particular fight, my dad got knocked down. Now I went hysterical. I was roaming around the arena looking like crazy person. Forgive me for cussing, but I look like a crazy person. Like when I look back at it, like I know I looked insane because I was crying and just roaming around. He tried to pick me up. This man is like 6'5". He's like, he looks like The Rock. Like he's a big guy and he tries to pick me up and like to carry me and hold me. I'm trying to fight this man. Little old me trying to fight this grown man. He had to put me down and they had to just let me go. Girl, I ended up up in an alley somewhere, sitting crying in Indian style.
Let me have my tantrum moment.
I was like, my dad was like, you can't come to a fight anymore. You need a chaperone.
This is part of the match.
I almost got in a fight with somebody. Girl, it was a mess. Yeah, it's scary, but not even just with my dad, even with my younger brother who's a boxer and my brother that plays football. Like I get nervous all the time. I don't think that it's not uncommon. I don't.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. Did Gia say that she got nervous?
No, not Gia. I didn't ask Gia this.
I'm like,
I wonder if she does.
Yeah, because I'm like, G doesn't seem like she would get nervous. She seems like she'd be so happy.
Gia not even at the game. Gia's in the lounge. Gia not even worried about that.
But you know what? I didn't start getting nervous though until I realized that my dad could get hurt. Because before I realized that he could get hurt, yeah, I was excited. I was like, oh my gosh, who is in here? Who is going to see me? Am I going to catch me a husband? Now I'm like 13, 14 years old. Why I'm thinking about marriage, I have no idea. But I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to find my future husband in here. Like, do I look cute?
Said, I'm outside. My dad's competing, period.
Right? Do you know me? Do you know me? Like,
do you know who I am?
Right? Because you should at this point. Like, girl, like, but yeah, no. Yeah, after I realized, like, yeah, he could get hurt, I was like, okay, I probably need to take this more serious. And literally every time I would see him in the ring, I would pray. Like, hands, I would be praying. Like, my heart would be racing. I would be praying to Lord Jesus to, like, just keep him safe, you know?
Because so much could go wrong. It's just like,
yeah,
mind plays every single scenario.
Right. And I feel like with basketball, like because I dated a guy in college that played basketball, and so I feel like my nervousness for him was, you want him to do well, so I feel like, you want him to, you want your brother to make every shot. You want him to be able to prosper, like, because if his stats are good, the more marketing and like what is it called, endorsements and stuff, it enriches his life, because you want the best for your brother.
Totally.
And so, and everything is on the line because you don't know what can happen. Somebody can fall on top of them. They can like have some freak accident. You just never know. Right. And like somebody could elbow him in the head for all you know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Like, people just don't look at it like that because it's, it's not their family member.
It's entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like you're in why do I keep messing up all of my words? What is it? Expendable?
Because we're running 10,000 miles a minute. That's why.
My word, Jurassic.
Yeah, y'all should have heard us earlier before we started rolling the cameras.
Anyways,
there's a lot going
sorry.
on.
But yeah, so so I totally get it. Yeah, it's normal.
I'm like, you're betting on, like, not you, but like other people are like betting on a game and like they don't want them to get hurt because like that's their money, but it's like, I don't want you to get hurt because like that's my family. Like we're not even seeing this from the same
right
people. Yeah,
totally. Because who's to say that like whatever happens that you're gonna be 100% after that? Like it doesn't matter if that person retires after that. They've got a limp. They don't want to limp.
1,000%.
Like I don't want to see you limping. Like
I want to see you thrive. Right, enjoy retirement.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like I mean, it's like I said, people are just insensitive until it's somebody that they know or whatever, but it is what it is. People are
but I think that's why like it is really important to have friends that share a similar perspective. Like yes, it's important to have friends that think differently than you, but for something as specific as this, I think that's why it's so cool and like really important for your soul to have friends like us, like Gia, like so many other people where you're like, I know you get it and I can bring this to you and not even have to explain any background info. Like we're going to
Right.
talk about it. And like, I truly know, you know how people are like, oh, I know how you feel, but they have no idea how you
No
feel.
idea.
You know how I feel, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, 1,000%. That's what, like I said, my friend Leslie, like she's gone to fights with me, and uh, she will be like, she will tell people to move out the thing away.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
like she don't play games. Like if I am distressed, she will take care of it, and vice versa. Though, like it's not like a one-way street just because my dad is famous. Like she
Yeah,
does
no.
no. She like this girl has literally been at a hospital with me and like sitting
Wow.
there for 2 days. Like like just because that's who she is. That's my like she's my best friend, and vice versa. That's we're just there for each other like that. So I just tell everybody, get you one of those type of friends.
Okay, get you a Leslie, get you a Evette. Sorry,
Yeah.
by me, so find somebody else.
Yeah, I can only take on so many people.
He's booked right now, y'all, but check back in a few years. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh
if
my
one friend might drop off.
Yeah, look, we're gonna see how they start acting. Y'all know summer's coming around. The heat makes people do some weird things, so we'll see.
I know.
Okay, Yvette. Well, as we wrap, my question to you is, how do you want to impact the world? What do you want your legacy to be? Big question, but you have a big personality, so I just want to hear everything.
Oh, I wasn't ready for that one.
Oh no. Well, you're good at processing live. So
I know. Okay. What do I want my legacy to be? I think I know what I know I want my legacy to be is that, I helped people, encouraged people, and I help people to accomplish their goals and their dreams in their life. Because I think that that's like the best gift that you can possibly help somebody with. Like being fulfilled is the best feeling in the world. So that's what I would want it to be.
And you do a great job of it. Let me tell you, if this is any
Thank you. Thank you.
Any confirmation. So for our listeners or anyone that is just struggling with like being able to embrace who they are individually, like without all that they're attached to, without what they feel tethered to, what advice would you give them? Because obviously they can watch this and tell that you've just done such a good job of really just owning who you are. How would you encourage them to own who they are?
Well, honestly, I would tell them to go to a therapist, because working out those deep rooted issues can definitely help you to let go of pain and resentment. And I feel like who you are will start to come out, and it will start to shine through. It takes time.
Yeah.
It's not an overnight thing. It took me 8-9 years to get to this point. So have grace with yourself. And, if you're not a Christian, you should get to know the Lord.
Okay.
Just say.
I didn't tell her to say that, y'all. I didn't tell her to say that.
No judgment though, if you're not, but God helped me a lot, and it's still helping me, and it's still helping me to process things. So those would be my tips, like for an initial, for you to an intro for you to get started on, getting to that point to where you really know yourself. But like I said, it like literally time, it really helps.
Yeah.
So
that's so true. And like not today at church, oh my gosh, we talked about like not rushing yourself out of the season you're in. Like there's a reason you're in the season. Like
yes,
you better, when it's time to leave it, you cannot be the same person as like when you entered it. Like you really have to like sit where you are and like be like, okay, what am I supposed to learn right now?
Right. No, I agree. I think, and that's why I feel like it did take me a little bit longer, is because I was trying to rush myself through my season. And like you said, not appreciating it. And I think that when you don't appreciate what you're going through at the time, like time flies, and you're looking at like, oh dang, I went 3 years or 4 years like through this whole thing. You can't get back time.
Yeah.
And then you get on yourself about that, and then it creates another resentment that you might have with yourself, and then you start blaming other people for these things. So I agree, like take your time, and listen to God in those trials that you're going through, or whatever mental state that issue mentally that you're having. Like, yeah, get a therapist.
Come on.
I'm just like,
Everyone's signing up for
I feel like
therapy.
I feel like I'm different because I really do think a lot and I think deeply about things, and I don't mind confronting my issues and my truth about myself. I don't have an issue with that at all. It doesn't make me depressed. It just shows me, and I'm like, okay, Lord, how do I fix it? I don't want to waddle in it. I want to fix it so I can be better. So
yes. You don't want to live in dysfunction because we don't have to.
Yeah, I'm too old for that.
Okay, nobody got time for that.
I'm sorry, I'm too old. I'm too old for that, girl.
I'm 22.
I am not 20.
I'm too old for that. So.
Look, I'm not 20. I can't. Like, I don't have. Fix it.
There's no time for that. There's no time for the nonsense.
But that's my word for everybody. Fix it. We're not waddling. Fix it.
We're actually gonna change the episode title to just fix it.
Fix it.
Y'all just. Fix what you gotta fix, okay? And we all fix what we need to fix. We're not
do everything you can possibly just fix it. Don't waddle in it. Just fix it. Can't be a victim. And that's another thing though. People are willing to be the victim all the time. And
that's real.
You can't do that. The victim mentality does not work in fixing yourself at all.
Because you have to confront it.
Absolutely. Like head on. But you do have to be in a space to do that because some people are very fragile.
Yeah, so. That's true. That's true. And only time
I come from a family of fighters, so I'm a little bit.
Say y'all.
I know I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit different. So hopefully, everybody enjoyed this, and I could give, some hope.
Yes, even before this was like, I hope they don't think I'm boring. I'm like, what about you is boring? You're full of no. You're full of wisdom and just love and light, and it oozes out of you. And I am truly honored for you to be a guest on Do I Know You, but call you a friend as well. You're that girl.
Thank you. No, you're amazing. You're my little sis. So
yes, thank you, Evette. You're the best. Yes. I am so appreciative of you coming on, y'all. I hope you learned so much, and I will see you so soon for the next interview. Y'all, I might be biased. I mean, what can I say? I'm the host of the show. I'm a little biased. But to me, you're just not getting this content anywhere else. You're just not. Literally, there are only a handful of people in the entire world that have like a household last name. Like, no matter where she goes, it follows her. But instead of like crumbling under that pressure, she thrives. She literally has harnessed her identity in such a beautiful way in terms of like fashion and her faith and mentorship and entrepreneurship and like so many different things that like compose Evette. She's just like, yeah, this is me, period. Like, I'm definitely shaped and influenced by like my dad and my family, but like ultimately I'm my own person. Same goes for you. You might be shaped by that relationship you're in, by your job, by what you want your life to look like, by your friends, like anything. But ultimately, like, you're still you. It's still just you, And I think there's something to be said about like just being able to speak to like the heart of that in a very vulnerable and open way, which is why I love this show and why I love Evette so much. Evette, thank you again for coming on. I appreciate you with all my heart. And y'all, like, I'm not gonna lie, we've been pushing out some content. Like, there's been a lot of good words these past few weeks. So make sure that you're not missing anything. A reminder to subscribe, send to your friends, because we're getting healed over here. I don't know about y'all, but I definitely feel like a more healed version of myself than literally when we started the show, which is crazy. But I hope you're starting to feel the same way. And if you're not in this for healing, maybe you're just in it for vibes. I hope you're getting the vibes too. I know you're getting the vibes. One thing about me is I'm always going to put the vibes out there. But I've had so much fun with all of you. I'll be back next week. Don't worry. I told you, like, we're locked in for life. I'm about to be back. I'm not going to leave y'all hanging. But yeah, we're going to switch things up soon. You're going to hear from me. We're going to do another Jordy rant. And yeah, we're just going to keep it pushing. I just love this show so much. I love all of you. And it's the best thing on the internet. I'm sorry. I had to say it. Like, I'm humble, but I'm also biased, and I'm also confident I'm going to own it. So with that, I hope y'all love this interview. I know I did. And shout out to the Holyfields, an incredible family. I will see you all very, very soon. I hope you have a beautiful week. Mwah. Cheers to you. Bye.
Okay.
Oh, we're never gonna be able to do this.
I know we're never getting that.